Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be teaching you how to achieve this jumpsuit without the opening at the front. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you how to achieve this jumpsuit. We'll use pattern for the upper bodies, but for the trouser parts I'm going to be showing you how to achieve your trousers using your freehand method. So if this is something you would like to learn, kindly stay tuned till the end. So to achieve the upper part of this jumpsuit, the first thing you're going to do is to divide your paper by two. Get the midpoint of your paper and divide it by two, just with a straight line. Then the next I'm going to do is to put down my reference line or my shoulder line. Okay, I came down from the top of the paper by 2 inches. Then after this, I'm going to be putting down my measurements. So I'm putting down my armhole length. The head of my armhole is 9.2. I'll put that down. Then I'll put down my bust point of 11 inches. Then I'll put down my half length. Okay, this is all we're needing for the measurements, and I'm going to connect the lines. So after connecting my lines, I have to differentiate the front and the back. Okay, so the next I'm going to do is to put down my round neck. For the front I took 3 inches width and 3 inches length, while for the back I came down by 1 inch as the length of my neck. That's my neck depth. Then I took 3 inches for the width. So I'm going to use my curve rule to curve my neck. Then next I will put down my shoulder measurement of 8 inches for both front and back. Then for the front I came down by 1.5, and for the back I came down by 1 inch as my shoulder slope. Then I'll connect it back to my neckline. Okay, so on my bust point, on my armhole point, I came in by 8 inches, the same measurement I have for my neck length. I put it down on my armhole. Then I connected it from my shoulder slope to my armhole. Then for the front I came up by 3 inches and I went in by 0.75, then connected back to the shoulder slope. Then the next I use my curve rule to connect from that 0.75 to my round bust divided by 4 inches. So I'll put that down on my armhole measurement. Okay, my round bust divided by 4, then I'll connect my armhole. For the back I came in by 8 inches, the same thing I did for the front, and connected it back to my shoulder slope. Then I divided what I have on that line by 2 and I went in by 0.5. Then I connected my armhole. So after I've finished achieving my armhole for both front and back, I'm just going to put down my round waist divided by 4. Then I'll add 1 inch for my dart holding. Okay, so my round waist divided by 4 plus 1 inch, and I did the same thing for both front and back. So I'm going to connect it back to the armhole point. So after doing that, I'll just put down my dart measurement. Okay, my dart, I come in by my bust apart divided by 2, which is 4 inches on my waistline and on my bust point for the front. Then I connect it together. Then I did my dart opening of 0.5 for both sides. I did the same thing for the front. I connected it to my chest line, which is my armhole line, and did my dart legs of 0.5. I connected it together. So for my back tightening, I came in at my center back by 0.5 on my waistline, then connected it back to the neckline. Now this I'm going to do is to come down by 5 inches. Since this is an off-shoulder dress, I came down by 5 inches from my shoulder line. I connected it to the armhole. I did the same thing for the back. I came down by 5 inches, then connected it to the armhole line. Then from there, for the back, I came down by 1 inch to have a kind of a curve at the back, since I don't want it to be straight. So you can do yours to be straight anyhow you want. You can style your neckline. So for the front, I came down by 2 inches, but later I had to deepen it again to, like, I took 3.5 for the front. I had to deepen it later, which you will see before I cut. While cutting, I'll show you what I did for that. So I'm going to cut this out and I'll show you what next to do. So after cutting out, I'm just going to label my front and my back pattern. Remember to cut out your back tightening, okay? Right, so the next we are going to do is to proceed to the cutting, and this is the fabric I'll be using to cut this out. So I'm just going to cut out my bodies. After cutting out, this is what we'll have. I added 1 inch at the back, center back, as my zip allowance, 1 inch to the side, ½ inch to the down. The neckline, I didn't add anything. Then armhole, I added ½ inch for the back and the front. So now we'll proceed to the cutting of the trouser. I'll quickly show you how to cut your trouser using your freehand method. So first, you come down by 1 inch at the top of your fabric. That will serve as your waistline. Come down by 1 inch. So from there, you start taking your measurements down.
Okay. So I'm going to be taking down 10 inches as my hip length. The hip length 10 inches. From my reference line, or this is my waist line, take down 10 inches. And from there, I'll take down 3.5 as my crotch depth. Now, to get your crotch depth, if you are on the slimmer side, you take 3 inches. By the time you sew out your joining, to get you, what you have will be 3.5. So for me, I'm taking 3.5. By the time I sew out, what I'll have is 4 inches. So this works, right? So I'll just connect the lines. So I'm using a white chalk so you see properly. So the length of the trouser, I'm using these 2 lengths of the fabric. So to get your crotch, now here I'm going to put down my hip measurement. My hip measurement is 12.2. So I'm putting down 12.2 as my hip measurement. I'll put it down. Put down your hip measurement. Then I'll be adding my crotch extension of 2.5. So here will be 2.5. Okay. So because I'll not be cutting here on fold, I want to add back my 1 inch to this point. I'll just add 1 inch. Okay. So that's the point. But I'll not be cutting here. I'll cut here open. I'll be cutting out like ½ inch out. So I'll put down my waist measurement of 8 inches plus 1 inch, which will be 9 inches. I'll put that down here. I added 1 inch for my dash allowance. Okay, so 8 inches plus 1 inch. So I'm going to connect this. I'm going to connect this to my crotch extension. Now to get your crotch extension, what you have to do is to divide your round hip divided by 20 for the front. That's how to get your crotch extension. Now give me 2.5, so that was added 2.5 here. After connecting this, I got out my 9 inches. Okay, I connected from here. You see, from my hip measurement, I connected what I have here to here. Then I connected from here. I got my 9 inches. So from there, I'm going to be taking from my hip at my hip point. I'll take my hip measurement here. I'm going to connect my hip measurement from that point which I have here. I'll just bring it down. And whatever I have here, I'm going to bring it down to the crotch extension. I'll just take down my hip measurement of 12 points and I'll connect it with a straight line here. Okay. So here you're going to be reading your knee point. My knee point is 25. So I'm going to bring down 25 as my knee measurement. So I'll connect it with a straight screw, a straight line. I'll connect my knee measurement, and I'm going to calculate what I have here for my crotch extension. Whatever I have here, I'm going to be calculating what I have here by 2. I will divide by 2. And I'll bring it down to my knee and to the hem. And I'll connect. So this is called your crease line. This is called your crease line. So on this crease line is where you have your round hip, round knee divided by 2, round elbow divided by 2. Okay? So you just go ahead and measure what you have for your knee, bending your knee. So I don't want this material to be too tight, so I'm taking 20 inches as my round knee, and I'll divide it by 4. Okay, which will give me 5 inches. So I'll be putting down 5 inches here, 5 inches here. Okay, and I'll be adding an extra allowance of 1.5 because I still don't want it to be big, to be small. I add 1.5, and I'm going to connect. Okay, I'll connect from my hip, my crotch depth, yeah, to that my knee point. And for the crotch extension, I'm going to use my ring to connect whatever I have. I'm going to use my ring to connect. Okay, let me use my free hand and see if okay, this is fine. So whatever I have for my knee, I'll still bring it down to so I'll be bringing down the 5 inches here because I want it to be straight, and I'll add 1.5 to it. I'll add 1.5 and I'll connect it back to make the knee point. Because I want it to just be straight. So my allowance is included here. I've added back 1.5. And I'm going to cut this out because this is a jumpsuit. You're supposed to add back ½ inch to the up to the waist, then add another ½ inch for joining to your top. That's why I left the 1 inch. I'm not cutting it out. So this is it for the front, down the pocket. Now to get your pocket for your trouser, so here I'll just go in by 3.5. So here let me use 8 inches. So I'm using 8 inches. I'll just connect it to the 8 inches. So I'll just connect it to the 8 inches. Okay. I took in 3.5, then came down here by 8 inches. Connected my 3.5 to my 8 inches. Then from there, I'll take down 4 inches. Okay, this will be my pocket filler. And here I went in by, say, 8 inches. Here I went in by 3.5. So I'll go in by 3 inches. I'll just connect it, okay, down to. So later I'll be cutting out this one, but first let me cut out my back. Right here, I've folded my fabric into two to cut my back, and I placed the front on the back. Now for the back, make sure you come down here by 1.5 at the waistline, because the back is higher than the front with 1.5. So you make sure you have 1.5 allowance here. So for the sides, I also have allowances at the sides. Now for your back crotch extension, you're going to be dividing your round hip divided by 10 inches. So I'm putting down 4.5 here. 4.5. So my back crotch extension is 4.5. I started it by 4.5. So I add back half inch. After I take your 4.5, add back half inch to the side, to that part. So for the sides, here will be, you're just going to add half inch all round for the back, all around half inch for the back. So for the back, let me show you what to do at the waist point. The waist part, let me come down. Okay, here is the waist, my back waist. See, I have extra 1.5. See what I'm doing? I just want to connect this line straight to touch the crotch depth. Okay. So this line, I came in here by 2 inches. So for the hip point, I'll just come in by 1 inch. Okay, to the crotch extension. I'll come in by 1 inch. Then I'll connect it to meet these 2 inches. Right? So from there, I'm going to be taking my waist of 9 inches. So from this 1 inch you have here, I'm going to take my hip measurement, right, divided by 4. I'll take for my hip point and my crotch extension, which is 12.2. For my crotch extension, I'll do the same thing. I'll come in from that 1 inch we took by 12.2, and I'll connect it here. So this is how to get your back shape for your back. So from here, like here, from this hip point here, you just come out by 0.2, okay, and connect it back to the hem, and you back to my crotch extension. So for this crotch extension, you're going to you can use your curve rule, or you can just do that from your knee, okay? You connect from your knee, use that your half inch to connect. So for the pocket, I said come in by 3.5, come down by 8 inches. Then for that 8 inches, you take 4 inches down, and okay, so now what you want to do is to trim out your pocket face. This is the pocket filler, right? Facing, yeah, this is the pocket facing. I'm not going to trim this down, but I'm going to remove half inch. I'm going to trim it out and remove half inch. Here. I'll use it to cut out a pocket for it. I'll use my fabric, put it to put it on, and then use my tracing wheel to trace out this point. This one I did here. What I'm just going to do. I'm just using my tracing wheel to trace out on my fabric.
So this is what I have for my pocket facing. So this is my facing. So the next I'm going to cut will be the filler. This will be placed on top while the filler will be placed under. Okay, so just use this one to turn the pocket mouth. So I'm going to show you how to cut the filler. You're not going to cut out what to cut out at that edge side. You're just going to leave it. I'll cut it out and show you what it looks like. So I cut out the lining using the same fabric for it. So you can cut out your lining using a lining or your fabric if it's enough. So I use my fabric to cut out the lining for the upper bodies only. So now we are going to be turning it. I went ahead to join the neckline, okay, the neckline and the armhole. Know that this is a strap. We are using a strap, so you will not close all the whole neckline, but I'll be leaving the sides open because I'll be doing invisible finishing for that part. I'm just going to close the armhole and the neckline first for both front and the back using the lining to turn it. And here I'm cutting out the strap, okay. I used a fabric of 10 inches length and 2 inches width, okay, for both sleeves. I just cut out 2 pieces. So I'm doing it for the 2 sides. I'm just going to go turn it out. I'm going to go sew it and turn it out, then I'll fix it to the necklines for both front and back. So here I've gone ahead to turn the neckline and the armhole for my front and my back, okay. I'm gonna ahead to turn the armhole. Then for the front, look at what I mean by this strap. The strap comes at the tip of the neckline. I'm gonna ahead to turn the neckline and the armhole, so the sides are open. Like I said, leave the sides open. So to turn the sides, you place the front and the back together, okay, the right side facing the right side, and you're going to be opening it up. So this way you're going to open it up and you will get the wrong sides, okay, matching from the armhole, okay. So you're going to remove your allowance that you added 1 inch. So I'm going to be sewing out that 1 inch, making sure that the armhole, they are matching, okay. I'm just pinning it down so it won't shift. So I'm just going to run it. I'm going to sew it, making sure that the armhole, they are matching. All right, after joining the sides, this is what we have. And I also went ahead to close the back, okay, with 1/2 inch. Remember I added 1 inch for zip allowance, so I closed the back by 1/2 inch, okay. That's the center back. Now we are going to move to, I'm going to keep that and we'll move to the trouser parts. So for the trouser, before I fix my pocket, I'm just going to go ahead to join my flap first for both front and back. So I'm going to join the flap using the 1/2 inch I added. I'm going to join the flap. So to join my pocket, I'll just take I cut out 2 of this pocket facing. I'll take the first one and place in one part of the pocket, and I'm going to pin them because I'm going to sew out 1/2 inch, and after sewing another 1/2 inch I'm going to top stitch. Okay, I'll just sew out and stop at that 8 inches length for both sides of the pocket. So to cut out your pocket filler, you're going to fold your fabric into 2 and you cut. Okay, you cut a straight fabric. Okay, that will be the pocket filler. Cut a straight fabric. Don't curve the waist side the way I curve the facing, because this is the filler, so you're not supposed to cut it. I'm just going to cut it straight like what I'm doing here. I just went ahead to cut it straight. Using the same length, okay? Using the same length of the pocket facing. You just cut out a straight fabric without curving the waist line. See this other one, I curve the waistline, but this one will be straight. Okay, so after joining my pocket facing, this is what I have. Remember to fix your dart, okay? Remember to fix your dart. So I'm going to place the pocket filler on the facing. Then I'm going to join it. But with that, I'm going to curve this side, the downside. I'm just going to have a small curve there, like what I'm doing. I'll just curve this out. Then I'm going to join the pockets. I'm going to join them together join them with 1/2 inch. So I'm just pinning it down so it won't shift while sewing. That is your intent of pinning, why you should pin down, so it won't shift. So I'll go to my machine. This is how it looks. It will look like after I finish joining it. See, very fine and deep. So I'm going to do the same thing for the both pockets. Curve the side and I'll pin down. So I'll just go to my machine, then I'll sew that curved side. After I finish sewing, this is the outcome. I've held my dart too, and as you can see, the pocket is so deep and fine. Okay, so the next I'm going to do is to place the back to the front, and I'm going to sew my crease line, like the flap side. I'm going to sew it, run it down till the hem. So I'll make sure the crease line, I'll make sure the flap of the front and back, they are matching. Then I'll go ahead to sew. After I was done joining the flap on my crease line, I went ahead to iron. Okay, now this is what it looks like. And for the zip, I left the center back open and I measured to 10 inches. That is where my zip is going to stop. Okay, from the waist, take 10 inches. And I'm just going to join the upper bodies to the trouser part. Okay, making sure that the darts match. Okay, the darts are matching. So I'm going to start placing from the center back of the top and the center back of the trouser to make sure that the darts are matching and they are equal. If you got your measurement right and you're sewing right, it is going to match. So I'm just going to go ahead to join this and I'll sew. And here I am done with this dress, this jumpsuit, and it fits so well. It's so fine. And make sure you turn the hem of your jumpsuit. This is the pocket, so deep and fine. The dots are matching, everything is fine, everything is on point. Okay guys, thank you for staying with me. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel and you've watched till the last point, at the last part of this video, please subscribe and share.